What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Last time, we went ghost hunting in order to gain immortality. It was actually just a glass bottle that we put a fairy in, but this sounds so much cooler. And this time, we are going to be going around Kakariko Village and seeing what new upgrades and different things we can get now that we have the bow and everything. But while we're running through here, I just have to say, every time we come to Kakariko Village, it feels so much more like a hub town than even Castle Town did as Child Link. There's just so much to do here between like the Gold Skulltula house and the fact that you get like the hook shot here and Dompe's quest and everything during a child. It's so much to do here. Also, speaking of Gold Skulltula, there's one up here at night on Impa's house that only appears after you become an adult. So I wanted to come up here and grab this one. And I think we actually want to go inside of the Skulltula house now because we have 40 tokens and can get the next reward. The curse has been broken. Thank you. Here's a reward for you. And for getting 40 Gold Skulltula tokens, you get 10 bomb shoes. Yeah, this is probably the weakest or worst reward that you can get from the Skulltula house. And I just don't know why they give you 10 bomb shoes. I almost never use bomb shoes, and I don't think we have at all up to this point. So, yeah, that should tell you how important that reward is. But next up, I want to make it daytime, so that we can go over here up to this house that has been finished and go inside here. Welcome to our second shooting gallery. If we talk to this guy, do you want to play a game? It's 20 rupees per play. Okay, this is the game for grown-ups. Hyrule's famous shooting gallery. Take aim at the targets from the platform over there. Can you hit 10 targets? You get 15 shots. Draw your weapon with B. Are you ready? Go for a perfect score. Good luck. So, this game is basically the exact same as it was when we were a child, with a few key differences. The first is that we are using the bow and not the fairy slingshot anymore, meaning we have much faster shooting capability, which actually makes this a lot easier to do. As you can see, I'm not missing as much as I was with the fairy slingshot. The other is that, as you can see, the rupees show up in the same exact places, but they aren't in the same order as they were when we were a child. In fact, in this iteration of the minigame, they will randomly appear every time you play it. So every time you play this one, it is technically different. But we have won, and for winning the first time, we get a big quiver. You can now carry more arrows, 40 in total. This is an item that I would recommend getting before doing the Big Poe side quest that we did last episode. It basically just allows you to have more arrows, meaning you have to spend less time either grinding or buying arrows in order to go hunt the Big Poes. I decided not to because I knew we were coming back here this episode, and it would have felt kind of disjointed if I came back here, went and hunted Poes, and then came back here again the very next episode. But just like the child version of this game, we can play again, and if we beat it one more time, we get a different reward. Also, something else I recommend doing for this minigame is keeping your bow roughly in the middle, because the hardest rupee to hit by far is the one that pops out of the middle and kind of flies upward. And by staying in the middle, you can pretty reliably hit everything else by just flicking the joystick in a certain direction and then firing. And that would be probably the biggest suggestion I would give for this minigame. But for winning a second time, we get 50 rupees. And this is another really good way to farm money, which we really haven't needed money for a while now. But then if you get 8 or more rupees shot in a game, or if you shoot 8 or more rupees in a game and don't get all of them, they will give you a free retry of the game. So as long as you hit at least 8, you can play that game over and over and over again until you finally win the game. And get the purple rupee, giving you 50 rupees, basically free every time. And every time you play, you would get basically a net total of 30 rupees every time. But with that being said, that is everything in Kakariko Village that we need to go over. So we have a decision to make now. We have pretty much free reign of every temple in the game now, up to a point, and that is because we have unlocked both the bow and the hookshot, not to mention Epona that gets us to a couple of other places. But I think I want to head towards Goron City for the only reason being that I like doing the game in the order of how we did it as a child. So going from the forest to the mountain to Zora's domain, because I like going and checking up on our friends because we know that they are in trouble since Sheik has told us that several people we know are already in danger, and I like checking up on them. But I have to say something. I really wish Epona was allowed in more places. Like, I understand there are boulders falling at us, and we were even hit by a boulder. But, and also it would be kind of dangerous for her on these like sharp ledges and everything. But it would be so much faster than Link rolling and trying to get to Goron City. But with that being said, let's go ahead and head side. So, Goron City, you may have noticed already, but it's kind of empty in here. There are no Gorons that we have seen, and the entrance to Darunia's room and the shop that we opened up when we were here as a child are closed. So, I guess we should just play Zelda's Lullaby like we did as a child and see if that helps. Yeah, as you can see, even Zelda's Lullaby can't help get us into this room. Also, I need to point out, where did the giant pot go? It's been 7 years, so they had some time to move it. But you never see it as an adult, and it's such a big pot to just disappear on you. But what we actually need to do to get those doors open is actually head up to the level that giant rolling Goron was. Because if we look around here, you can see that there is another Goron here that is rolling around. That is simply much smaller than the Goron we saw before. But we just need to pull out our bombs, and exactly like the big Goron, we just need to bomb this guy and to stop him. So we are going to throw that there, and I'm actually going to throw it that way. This one is a little bit harder to stop because he's faster than the big Goron was. So I'm going to wait till he gets directly around the corner. And then we're going to throw the bomb there. And then throw another one. How did I get it up there? Well, that's just impressive on its own. I didn't know you could throw it up on the rope. I guess you learn something new every day. Let's throw a couple of bombs to try to stop this guy. Okay, that's it. We're going nuclear. I'm pulling out the bomb shoes, and we're going with the tried and true strategy of throw as many bomb shoes at this guy as possible. There we go. The bomb shoes are actually helpful here because if they hit the Goron, they explode automatically. So you don't actually have to time anything for it. How could you do this to me? You're Ganondorf's servant. Hear my name and tremble. I am Link, hero of the Gorons. What? Your name is also Link? Then you must be the legendary Dodongo Buster and hero Link. My dad is Darunia. Do you remember him? Dad named me Link after you because you're so brave. It's a cool name. I really like it. Link, you're a hero to us Gorons. I'm so glad to meet you. Please give me your autograph. Sign it to my friend Link of the Gorons. Oh, I guess it's not a good time to ask for this. Please help everyone. My dad, Darunia, went to the fire temple. A dragon is inside. If we don't hurry up, even my dad will be eaten by the dragon. You better try and calm him down if you can. Maybe he will calm down if you talk to him. What do you want to ask him? So, we can ask him a few things. We can either ask him about this Goron eating dragon, or about the Goron people themselves. But I think the more pressing matter right now is the dragon that he said is eating his people. A long time ago, there was an evil dragon named Volvagia living in the mountain. The dragon was very scary. It ate Gorons. Using a huge hammer, the hero of the Gorons, boom, destroyed it, just like that. This is a myth from long ago, but it's true. I know, because my dad is a descendant of the hero. Boo-hoo! And once again, we just need to talk to him about the Gorons this time. Everyone was taken to the Fire Temple. While my dad was out, Ganondorf's followers came and took them away. All of them will be eaten by Volvagia. Dad said that Ganondorf has revived Volvagia. As a warning to those who might oppose him, Ganondorf is going to feed them all to Volvagia. Dad went to the Fire Temple all by himself to try to save everyone. Please help, Link. I'll give you this heat-resistant tunic. So, for talking to Link, and I guess for blowing Link up, he gives us the Goron tunic, which actually allows us to negate the timer that shows up whenever we are in superheated areas. And it also opens up the door to both the shop and to Darunia's room, which is necessary to actually getting to the Fire Temple. But before we go down there, there's actually one more thing that I want to do, and that's go over to this room. And that is because, if you remember, there was a Goron back here that said he was working on something, but that it would take him like 6 or 7 years to make what he was making. So, what do you have for me? I just completed a small weapon. How about it? How about buying this knife for 200 rupees? You got the giant's knife. Hold it with both hands and use B to attack. It's so long, you can't use it with a sword or with a shield. And like that description just said, it is a new sword that we can use called the Giant's Knife. And also, like the description said, if we pull it out, it is a two-handed weapon, meaning we cannot shield while using this weapon. We can even go into the lock-on mode, and he will just be holding the sword, meaning you are trading any defense that you would have for all-out offense. And I say that because the Giant's Knife does 4 damage per hit, which is twice as much as the Master Sword, which, I'll have to be honest, doesn't make a whole ton of sense to me, since the Master Sword is called the Sword of Evil's Bane, and, you know, should be the most powerful sword you could have. But I digress. Next up, we need to go into Darunia's room. And obviously he's not here, but you can probably see that if we angle ourselves, there is a space behind this statue that Darunia stands in front of. And if we stand in front of the statue, the A prompt turns to grab. So if we grab onto the statue and pull it backwards, Link is actually strong enough to pull this back, which I find impressive, because this is at least twice as tall as he is. But with it pulled back, we can just head inside. And this is a secondary way into the Death Mountain crater. It basically lets us have a way to get down here past that rock that we couldn't get past before. And I'm just going to put on the Goron tunic to show that the timer is gone, and also that it actually changes the color of Link's tunic, which I think is pretty cool. That this is, I believe, the first game where Link actually changes between different colored clothing, and would go on to be a core mechanic in several other games. It is something that grows over time, a true friendship, a feeling in the heart that becomes even stronger over time. The passion of friendship will soon blossom into a righteous power, and through it you will know which way to go. This song is dedicated to the power of the heart. Listen to the bolero of fire. You have learned the bolero of fire. Link, I'll see you again. So, with Sheik teaching us the bolero of fire, we have made our way to the fire temple. But before we actually go inside, I want to turn around and show that if we go over here to this platform, that you can see that there is a hole in that wall over there with a piece of heart that I want to go get. Technically, you could get that piece of heart as a child. I just opted not to because, one, I was worried about the time limit, and I knew that we were coming back here later without a time limit, so I thought it would be better just to wait until now. But, oh, that's unfortunate. What I was going to say is that I want to talk a bit about the Bolero of Fire, because I really like that song, and I really like the inspiration that is behind it, because a bolero is a Latin-style ballad, which is really cool, but also makes almost zero sense for the Gorons, because they have never had anything Latin-inspired about them, at least as far as I could find. In fact, they've actually had more Polynesian and Maori inspiration based on their body markings. The Gorons have body tattoos basically in every iteration of them. And in fact, the Gorons in Ocarina of Time are probably the least marked up that they've ever been, with only having tattoos of the Goron emblem on their arms. But in future iterations, they have a lot of body markings and everything. But like I said, there's really no Latin inspiration anywhere, which makes it really weird that they would choose to have the Latin-inspired song be for the Gorons and the Gorons temple of sorts. But with that being said, I think we are going to end this episode here. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we head into the Fire Temple and take down a dragon. But until then, happy adventuring.